Welcome, y'all. It's Wes with DIY Food Plot Pro. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's episode, we're going to talk about habitat improvements and changes that you need to do on your property to really maximize the hunting land that you have and to make this property better for the generations to come. That's really what this is all about. As we mature as whitetail hunters, many folks that I've talked to, and I was this way for many years, you hunt whitetails so hard for so long that you lose a little bit of that desire. You still enjoy it, but not to the level that you once did. How many folks have you talked to that are older that asking about they were really good hunters or really good fishermen for, say, ducks or deer or whatever back in the day, and they say, I'm just not nearly as mad at them as I used to be. And so I think that happens more and more over time. And this is something that you can do on your property that is going to change it, to make it better for the generations that come after you. And I think that's really important for a lot of us. And it's something that I have really come to love. I'm a food plot guy. I own a food plot seed company. So I'm a food plot guy through and through. I love farming. I love food plotting. Goes hand in hand. And I'm just absolutely ate up with it. And I still will food plot. I'll still continue to food plot. But habitat improvement is quickly becoming one of the most fun things that I do on the property. It's so rewarding to go out there and to change this habitat on farms where you're not holding a lot of mature bucks. You go in and you put in these bedding areas and you put in these travel corridors and you see whitetails utilizing, and it's helping the whitetails on your farm be healthier, maybe get to an older age class, express more of their potential as far as their rack goes. So it's really rewarding, in my opinion, to be able to come out here and to do these habitat improvements on the property. A lot of folks are scared. They just don't know where to get started with habitat improvements. And it can be daunting for sure. Setting these up, you definitely don't want to set them up in the wrong places to where they're very difficult to hunt, because these are going to be buck magnets. If you go in and you cut a 2 to 5 acre bedding area, these areas are going to be loaded with deer during this time of the year, mid-November. They are going to be absolutely loaded because that's where all the cover is going to be. Especially if you're in an area where cover is a limiting factor, deer are going to pile into these bedding areas. And if they're in the wrong locations where you can't hunt them, man, it makes it very, very, very difficult on you, because that's where all the sign's going to be. That's where all the deer are going to be. I have been to multiple properties where landowners have went out and started their own bedding cuts, putting in some thickets on their property, and they put them right in the center of the farm. You know, they look at you and they're like, boy, what do you think? And you're like, man, it's, you know, it looks cool. It's definitely turned into a early successional thicket, but how are you going to hunt that? The light bulb kind of goes off and they're like, well, never really thought a whole lot about, you know, where this needed to be able to access it. But there's a whole lot that goes into this habitat improvement. Now, if you're just wanting to improve the habitat for wildlife and you don't care about the hunting, doesn't make any difference. Just go out there with a chainsaw, start cutting down some non-desirable species such as maybe maples, hickories, elms, hackberries, sweet gums, and just let Mother Nature do her thing, and you will help whitetails by doing that. But if you are trying to help the whitetails by putting in bedding areas and you want to hunt them, there's a specific way that you need to do it, and you need to do it on the outside of the property. You do not need to go to the inside of the property. Your inside of your property should be a sanctuary. Ideally, you can hunt all the way around the property. I would say 40% of the properties that I go to, or less, probably actually less than that, you have to give up a whim because you can't get access all the way around the property. Very few properties does the landowner own 100 here and he can hunt all 4 sides. The habitat needs to be on the outside of the property. That way you're dictating movement around the property, not through the center of the property. There's going to be movement in the center of the property, period. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to pull those habitat changes to the outside of the property to where you have access to be able to get in and out. That's something that so many folks miss in this whole grand scheme of things, is the access and the screening that's involved. And you can get creative with this. Really need areas that you can get in without bumping deer. And it is extremely difficult in high density deer zones. I'll just tell you it is. I have fought that battle for many years. I'm on the verge of winning it, but man, it takes a lot of time, effort, and money to get these plans designed to where you can get into these areas without busting deer out as you're going in or busting them as you're going out. Very difficult thing to do. Takes a lot of thinking, takes a lot of creativity. I have seen some very creative ways that guys have put up screening, have put up barricades, berms to be able to access these stand and blind locations without deer knowing it. If you do not have that screening on your property, you are going to hunt that stand for maybe 2 to 3 times, and the gig's going to be up. The whitetails are going to know that you're there. They are going to stop using that area, or they're going to use it at night, or they're going to be constantly looking for you as they're going through there. They're not going to be areas where whitetails feel comfortable and they feel safe, and they're going to continue using. That's how you know whether you have good access, good screening, good stand locations, is the hunting continuously stays the same during season. It doesn't go downhill. You know you have big problems when you go to a stand location, you see 15 deer day 1, day 2 you see 6 deer, day 3 you see 2 deer. The deer know you're there. Say you've got good weather, very similar weather, you should be seeing roughly the same amount of whitetails day in and day out. It should not be dropping significantly every day when environmental factors and the weather are the same. That's how you know that the whitetails are onto you, and you know that you really need to focus in and work on your access, your screening. You might need to plant trees, you might need to plant screening, you might need to put some berms on your property, some areas where you can access that property and not booger those deer. So I think if you will go out and you'll just start, just start on an area. Get on the edge of one of your food plots and just cut a small bedding area. I think you'll be shocked how enjoyable it is. It's something that you can do January, February, March. When it's cold, you crank the saw up and you will be warm in no time. Always be careful when you're out there doing it. But it's very rewarding to get out there and to see how the whitetails are utilizing the areas that you have developed on your property for them. So if you need help setting up your deer hunting farms, you can go to my website, www.diyfoodplotpro.com. Click on Boots on the Ground Consultation, Boots on the Ground Visit, and I will come to your farm this winter and we'll develop a plan for it to make that farm hunt as best as it possibly can, with designing access, screening, food plots, stand and blind locations, mock scrape, water holes. The whole 9 yards will be in that plan. It'll be a full blueprint of what you need to turn that farm into the best hunting property in the neighborhood. So if that's something that interests you, you can go to my website, www.diyfoodplotpro.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Y'all smash that like and subscribe button.